Good Tuesday morning prospect. Yesterday I talked more about fellowship, and I'm excited because we have more people signed up. But I'm excited for another reason, because fellowship is one of the means of communion. And yeah, I am really talking about communion the way we talk about the Lord's Supper. Communion with God is the whole purpose of our existence. We like to pretend that it's not, and we like to beat around the bush about it, but one of the reasons that we are all hurt in such a deep way in the past couple of years is that the isolation that we have had from one another is killing us, literally. Mankind, humankind, was never intended to be alone. We are relational beings. God said it when He created Adam, put him in the garden, and noticed that it was not good for the man to be alone. I have experienced it. I make no bones about it. I'm a divorced and remarried man. I lost $250,000, and my wife couldn't handle being broken in debt, and I wasn't paying attention. But being single, I realized I wasn't cut out to be single. I needed a companion. And I'm not talking about physical relationships or sex. I'm talking about I needed somebody that cared whether I was alive or not. And these past 2 years, what it's shown to me is it's not just that deep bond that I have with my wife that I need. We all need that communion with one another. We function best when we have a shoulder to cry on when we're sad, when we have a friend to go with us when we are happy. Communion is a state of being, and fellowship leads to communion. So what I'm trying to get us all to the point of is to understand that communion is something that we have to have. Christians are called to be countercultural, and being countercultural in the world we live in is dangerous. We all know about cancel culture, where if you say something that's unpopular, you can just be erased from the digital realm, from social media. But part of being a Christian and being countercultural is having the integrity and the ethics to stand up and go, no, that's not right. Bishop Bev Jones, I count as a friend. He has gone on to his reward, but there was a time in my life when I was really down, and I was at a conference in Epworth by the Sea, and I was moping, sitting outside, and a bishop from the church sat down and had an active engagement with me. He cared about me. He didn't know me at the time, but he cared about me. That's what we're called to do for one another. We have to be able to care about one another. And one of my biggest frustrations with this is that there are people who think it is their job to tell me I cannot care and be with people. You don't have that authority. I don't care who you are. We as Christians together, this is not about being a pastor, this is about being a Christian. We are called to stand up and go, no, I am going to visit, I am going to love, I am going to care, no matter what the cost. And right now the world is saying the cost is too high. No, it's not. The cost is something that has to be paid. Communion with God cannot occur without communion with one another. There's a reason that the great commandment, the two greatest commandments, Jesus said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. And the second is love your neighbor as yourself. Communion is never a one-way street. It's never vertical with God. It has to be horizontal with each other as well. I firmly believe that as we go forward, communion and fellowship will be some of the marks of grace that we show one another. And I hope you will come along for this ride. Prospect, I'm honored and proud to be your pastor, and I'm looking forward to good things. Bless you.